Good afternoon, students. So, as we are dealing with the economic subject, we are going through a second chapter, Indian economy, in the year 1950 to 1990. So, in the introduction part, we have seen many of the concepts like economic system, in which we came across with the types of economic system, and further we came across which are the economic systems. Most probably we saw that socialistic, then capitalistic and mixed economy we had. Then further we saw about the planning, and nextly with the planning, who makes this planning? We have seen the planning commission, which was uh, set up in the year 1950. Then after that we came to the 5 year plans. In this 5 year plans, soon after, when we set up, we established, when we have set up the 5 planning commission, what they did, soon next year in the year 1951 we started with the new 5 years plan. Okay, in that, what all things are there in the 5 year plan, and what all things we are going to deal, we are going to see in today's session. See, first, in the 5 year plan, the goals of this 5 year plans, what goals they have kept, and goals of the objectives, what they have kept, what they are going to do in this plan. That is what the planning commission, what was been formed in the year 1950, what they have tried to do in this years of 5 year plan. So we know that in the 5 year plan, the first thing in the previous class what I was discussing was the growth one. That is what the first point comes. But before that, let me highlight the few points. The 5 year plan was introduced in the year 1951. Okay, that is what, April 1951. Then the plan should be some clearly specified goals. Now these goals means what? We are using your goal word. What this goal means? See, whatever you are setting in the future, we are going to do this. So how you are going to do that? That is been achieved or no, even that matters a lot. So that is what the goal, or this objective also we can call here. Object means we are going to do this. That is what specified. Then further we'll see. First, the goals of 5 year plans are as follows. It was a first point, growth. In the 5 year plan, we thought about the growth. Now see, it refers to the increase in the country's capacity to produce the output of the goods and services. First thing was produce. Growth means production. Okay, production of output, goods and services, huge quantity. Means what? If we produce more, production is more, we get GDP, gross domestic production, more. GDP means gross domestic production. When we are producing more means what? Services, goods and services, where we are increasing our production, then automatically the gross domestic production also increases here. See, output of the goods and services within the country increase in GDP. This what? GDP increases. Why? Because when we are having this production of goods and services, what is this GDP? GDP is a aggregate production of goods and services. GDP is nothing but aggregate production of goods and services, means total. We can mention here. Total production of goods and services, what we call here. Then further see, GDP is a good indicator of economic growth. Then GDP in the market value of all final goods and services produced in the different sectors in the economy. GDP in the market value increases. Market value increases. See, in the economy, everywhere, wherever we are having the markets, their value increases. Means what? For these products, value means the prices will be more for the products, that is goods and services what are being produced in the market, then our GDP rate increases. That is what GDP means, the total production of goods and services overall we can call here. Then in the market the value increases in the market. That was the first point. GDP is the market value. GDP is the market value of final goods. Market value of final good we can call. Final goods, why we are using here? Because which are sold to the consumers and which are consumed. Which are sold and consumed. Consume. When you will be selling in the market, that time only the consumption of the goods will be done. Okay, the final consumers can purchase them and consume it. That is what the thing here. Then this was the first point. Now second one comes with the modernization. Modernization we can call here. Here the word yes also can be used or Z also can be used here. Modernization. Now modernization means what in general terms? Here we are going to develop our output level. Output level means what? Production method of production. Now first thing, as we saw in the economic system, the production may be a labor intensive also or capital intensive goods. Now labor intensive means what we saw, the workforce is to produce the goods and services. Now capital intensive means what? The capital means capital goods are nothing but the machinery. Then when your machinery is working, that will be a capital intensive economy. Okay, that what we in the previous session we had discussed about it. Then this modernization, let's go for this word modernization. I will erase these points. Modernization. See, adoption of new technology is called as modernization. This is what? Adoption of new technology is modernization. First we were labor intensive, workers were making the work and producing the goods and services, but at present we are adopting a new technology with the machineries. Here we deal with the capital goods here. Okay, that is one point. Then it is done within the aim to increase the production of goods and services. Now workforce, the laborers who is to work, their output will be less. If they are working with the machinery, new technology, the goods and services produced will be more. Means what? Increase in the goods and services. What it helps to increase in the goods and services? The modernization helps to increase the goods and services. If the goods and services are increased, our economy will develop. How? Because we going to increase our gross domestic production. GDP increases. See how it is linked. If we adopt new technology is nothing but machinery for production. Okay, production of goods and services. The goods and services produced will be more. If the goods and services produced in the economy are more, obviously the GDP will increase. That is what the modernization took place. In the 5-year plan, if we go for the modernization, we will increase our economy's gross domestic production. Per capita income also here increases. This is what the adoption of new technology does here. So it is all about the modernization. Okay, then let's go for a next point. After this growth modernization, we are having self-reliance. Now what is this self-reliance, what we call here? See, basically we should not be dependent on others. Yes, do you all agree this? We should not be dependent on others. Whatever you are going to do it should be based on your capacity. You should not be dependent on others, if they help, if they are coming and doing this. No, whatever you are doing, it should be done by yourself. It is what self reliance we call here. See, I will tell you what exactly it means. See, a nation can promote economic growth and modernization by using its own resources or by using resources imported from other countries. Now see how it will be, how you all feel. See, self reliance means what? Whatever our nation, our nation can develop, our nation can develop only by using our own resources. If we use whatever resources we are having, our nation will get developed. This development goes up, our nation will get developed. Okay, if we are, means how it depends on the situation. Secondly, by importing goods from other country, by importing goods from other country. Now this is what, how we can develop our nation. Self reliance means what? You have an option, you can use your own resources and manufacture goods and services. That is what we can call here as a self reliance. If you require to import goods from other country, if you are taking goods from other country, means again you are going to be dependent on them. If they stop, means what? You will get stopped, your work will stop. So what it means exactly here, to develop our nation, we has to be self-reliance. Whatever resources you are available in your nation, that resources should be adopted and used here. See, I will highlight one more time. A nation can promote economic growth. Our nation can have a economic growth. Economic growth. How we can have our economic growth? See, economic growth and modernization by using our own resources, by using our own resources. This second option, by importing goods from other country, means what happens here? We are depending on them. What this means, using our own resources, means what? We are self-reliance, we are not dependent on others. This has to be done, not this one. Okay, then further, the 7-5-year plan gave importance to self-reliance by avoiding imports. Now 7-5-year plan gave importance to this. See, one after the other, first 5-year plan, second 5-year plan, nearly we are having 12 5-year plans now. Till that, now here we have specifically seen here 7th, okay, 7th 5-year plan. What they did, they gave importance for this, not for this. The importance were given for self-owned resources. Whatever you are having, to develop nation in our own resources. That was the self-reliance, to avoid importing. This was to avoid this. First 5-year plan, what they used to do, they used to use own resources also, then they used to use imported resources or imported goods also for development process. But in the 7th 5-year plan, what they said, avoid this. These two things were there in the 5-year plan. First 5-year plan, these things were done at starting. Then when the 7th 5-year plan came, the time period is this much. Keep in mind, till this we got many 5-year plans. Okay, in that first 5-year plan, for the development of our nation, we used to use our self resources also, then imported resources also, importing goods from other countries also we did. But lastly, when it comes to the 7th 5-year plan, they avoided means they stopped importing goods from the other countries. They totally gave scope for self-reliance. The self-reliance they made it. Okay, that was the main point here. Now one more point is there. One more point is equality. Now what equality means here from your point of view, what we are going to call here as a equality. In the 5-year plans, these points were set. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points were set here. So next we are going to see here equality. What about the equality word? What we call treating equally for each and every person. Are we talking about the person's equality means? So here I will let you know equality means what. It refers to the reduction of disparity in income or wealth and uplifting weaker sections of the society. Means what? We should not do one sector is strong, means he is giving his 100%. Okay. Then one more other sector is falling down, means we should neglect this, we should give importance to this. No, equality means what? With this sector, help other sector to develop. Okay, so this means what? Equality means seeing that other sectors should also develop. We should not think about our own sector. See what how the sentence has been framed. I will highlight here. It refers to the reduction of disparity of income and wealth by uplifting weaker section. Means whatever the income and wealth what we are having, we should not disparate, means we should not neglect others. वो सेक्शन क्या है, वो ठीक से काम नहीं कर रहा, उसमें क्या करना है वो रहने दो, छोड़ो, सिर्फ हमारा हो रहा है डेवलपमेंट करो, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. What we have to do is here, we have to concentrate on the lifting the weaker section of the people. Weaker section we can call here, or weaker sector also, whatever. Weaker people, we should try to develop them or help them here. Weaker, what we have told, weaker sections, weaker section people. If this section is strong, weaker section should be developed. You should treat them equally. Okay, so as I was mentioning about the economic reforms in the year 1990, new economic policies were framed. For that time, nearly 70 sectors our government was holding. In that, nearly 15 sectors were having more expenses. Expenses means what? We came under financial crisis. For that, what happened? Only 2 sectors were earning huge amount of profits. Means they were developed. So the government, what they did that time in the new economic policy, LPG, they framed. After that, what happened? 15 sectors were privatized, and other private people started investing them and started developing them. So which were highly revenue or profit consuming sectors, they kept with the government. They are none other than the atomic energy and the railways generates more the income for our nation. That is what the thing. If you go with the railway, have you seen everything? Waiting list will be there in the reservation, and in the general bogie only 55 or 80 or 90 people should go. In that, nearly 300-400 people will be going or traveling. Have you experienced this? Experience means what? Anywhere you're traveling from Belgaum to Maharashtra or Bangalore, if you see in the general bogie how many people were there, maximally the capacity will be of 100 people, but nearly 300 to 400 people were occupying this place of that general bogie. Okay, that was the thing where we can see here equality here. So we should not discredit the other people here. Okay, so it refers to the reduction of disparity of a income or wealth of the upcoming weaker section of the society. See, again one thing we can call here, it also refers to the distribution of economic power equally. Distributing economic power equally. मतलब सबको इकोनॉमिक पावर इक्वली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करो। अगर कोई वीकर सेक्शन है उसे डेवलप करने के लिए सोचो, वी शुड डेवलप देम, वी शुड नॉट रिग्रेट देम, मतलब उनको ठोकर नहीं मारना चाहिए, वी हैव टू develop them. That is what the thing we come to know from this point. So in the first 5-year plan, these goals were set. First was the growth of our nation, then modernization, then self-reliance, nextly the equality, that things. So here we end up with the first concept of this second chapter. This is the first concept. 5-year plan is a first concept of this second chapter. Now we are having the another concept called as agriculture. So this got over. I'll go for a second one. Second concept, agriculture sector. See, in the last chapter we have discussed about the agriculture. Everyone know that under the colonial rule, how many peoples were working in our agriculture sector. Nearly 75% population of village area is to work under the agriculture sector. Then soon after, few of the states like Punjab and uh, Punjab was a state where they gave more scope for the agriculture sector, and few states, other states like this one Maharashtra and all, they started to diversify and go for a manufacturing industries and IT sector. They reduced working in the agriculture sector. That were the points in the previous sessions we have discussed from the first chapter. Okay, then soon after that I will highlight few of the points of the agriculture sector, how we were having in the era of independence. See, during colonial rules there was neither growth or equity in the agriculture sector. Even we were not equal, we were not having equality, or else not having any of the growth in the colonial rule. That time they Britishers thought only of their benefit, only of their development, modernization, diversification, whatever they did, they used to export import policies which were framed only for self development of their nation. Colonial means what? I gave you all the idea what it is, ruling the other country. Britishers were ruling our country nearly 200 years. They have ruled our nation. So they Britishers have got that much developed. Now that country is developed country. Our country is developing now. We did not got an opportunity to develop our nation. Then further, after that, when we came to the Indian economy, then how we started developing is what? Setting the 5 goals of the 5-year plans. Then we started developing in this field. We gone for a growth in the agriculture sector. What growth we used to do? Production of goods and services more. Now here agriculture means the raw materials we are going to get more. So thinking one after the other points are too lengthy. So see, under the colonial rule there was no growth, not an equality also. Then in the agriculture sector, then the policy makers of independent India had to address these issues. See, these things has to be addressed first. They have to be noticed first. Okay, then which they did not thought, land reforms and promoting the use of high yield variety, that is the seeds. Means in the agriculture, which seeds used to give you more output, means more return. Like when you are bowing the seeds, means when you are bowing the seeds, which seeds here? Hybrid seeds are there here. We can call here high yielding variety. High, exactly, it is high yielding variety. These are the seeds. High yielding variety are the seeds which used to give you huge output. Means when you will bow, means putting seeds in the field agriculture sector, the output was more. Output means the seeds soon after the crops. If you have put in the crops manje, we can say in Marathi or Kannada what like bhat, what we call, या फिर गेहूं जो बोलते हैं, राइस बोलते हैं ना, वो बासमती राइस वगैरह कहाँ से आता है? एग्रीकल्चर से ही आता है ना, फील्ड में से। तो वो सभी यहाँ से लिंक्ड है। उसमें कैसा है, थोड़े सीड्स ऐसे भी होते हैं उसका आउटपुट कम रहता है, या फिर थोड़े सीड्स ऐसे रहते हैं जो उसे बीच बोए तो ज्यादा आउटपुट मिलता है, तो उसे HYV बोलते हैं, इसे हाई यील्डिंग वैरायटी सीड्स बोलते हैं इसे, ठीक है। सीड्स विच यूज्ड इन a revolution of Indian agriculture sector. Now Indian agriculture sector says that these things should be provided for everyone. High yielding variety means what? Once you bow the seeds, your output will be in the higher quantity. That is what the main thing. Then in this we got here land reforms. Under this we are having a land reforms. Now what these land reforms means? See, in the agriculture sector we are having one by one the points. What are they? We are going to see here. See, at the time of independence, the land tenure system was categorized by intermediaries. Now the how were in the independence time, how the the colonial rules were been framed, how the Britishers were ruling. There we were having the zamindars system and jagidars. What they used to do, they were holding a land in a huge number, like many of the acres, like 50 acres, 100 acres of land they were holding. Okay, that was the part. That time, the intermediate, they zamindars and jagidars, what we call. Zamindars and jagidars, these are the people where intermediary, we call them as a intermediary. Intermediary, we are calling them as an intermediary. So what they used to do is, were merely collected rent from tillers, means the people who were given the land for work. The people who were rent, they used to collect the, we can call here as a farmers. Okay, from them their rent was collected in a huge margin we can call. They used to collect the rent in the huge margin, then merely the rent from the tillers, then equity in agriculture called land reforms, which primarily refers to the change in ownership of the land holding. See, soon after, when these were the intermediaries, soon after the land reforms were given, that time they started to distribute these lands. How? I will tell you. When they in the village experience, where if you are having your grandpas or their grandparents, ask them the stories of that previous years, just like 20 to 30 years back, your grandfathers fathers or their grandparents, whoever you, if you all are having, ask them the stories previous 20 to 30 years back, how the zamindari system was there. You can have it a clear idea from your parents also, or else even I suggested you to watch movies like Lagan. In that, how the zamindar used to be under the Britishers, how they used to collect the things and they used to give to the Britishers. These all things you will come to know from this. Okay, that is one point. And then further, just a year after independence, steps were taken to abolish intermediaries and to make tillers and the owners of land. See, soon after the intermediaries who were there, soon after the our independence, what they did, they started to stop this. These things were stopped. That how we came to know that are been stopped? The owners of the land who were working in this under these people, you know, they took their field on their name only. They, these people gave that field to them. How much you are working, take that part and start developing them. So these are small things. Again, we'll be having a video clip on that. You will have a clear picture view, so that you will understand how the things were going on that time. We are having just a face-to-face interaction, and we are having just one-way communication now. I am going to give you all the ideas about it, but the clear view you will come to know from one of the video clip also. But before that, in detail, what we can know is these things, how we face the problem and how we are developing now. See, in these years, how we set a 5-year plan, and how we our agriculture sector started to develop. These things matter a lot for us, so we are dealing with this. This is what I am telling you all. This is the introduction part of this land reforms. Okay, then further, even we are having the objectives of this land reform. See, soon after these objectives. Now, what objectives this land reform was having matters here. See, as land reforms, we came to know here, intermediaries were there in this zamindars and jagidars. Under that, the farmers, tillers were working, and under rent, the farms were given, and the huge margin of rent they used to collect. That is what the previous one. Okay, after that, when we started to develop our nation, what things came into existence, that we are going to see here. See, first objective, to break the imbalance concentration of land wealth in the few hands. Now, imbalance means what? How much these people were having the lands started to distributed here. Means a person is having 100 acres of land, B person is having 500 acres. Now, are they capable enough, these people, to work there, or soon are they working on their own in this land, whatever they are having? No, they used to not have that things. Then what they started to break the imbalances. Now they started to break this. This system was stopped, breaking the parts. Now who is working in that area? Give them the land, let them work and settle. In that way, few of the parents, means that time the people got some working, the employment level increase. Even we are having the point, other points I will tell you. Increase agriculture production. See, when you are breaking this system, we start to get a production level more. Production increased. Why? Because you were not being charged this huge rent and all. When you are producing for your sake, the output obviously it will increase. Increase in the agriculture production. This we call here as a agriculture production. Agriculture production started to increase. The next, reduced unemployment. Unemployment was more that time. See, most probably 75% people used to work in this, okay, agriculture sector. Unemployment got reduced. Unemployment, I will make here somewhere here. Unemployment reduced. Got reduced here, means came down. Okay. Then last point, it is to ensure an effective and progressive relation between the owner and tenants. Now the owner and tenants means this zamindar and all, there was a equality between them. They ensured effective and progressive. They become effective and progressive. See, when you are giving them the freedom to work and earn and eat, that time obviously the development will get more. So they had a good relation between them. the workers and these zamindars came in having a good relation means what? Obviously this unemployment level came down, means the people who were unable to work, they got the jobs under in the fields, they started working there. Then again effective and progressive development came into existence after that, when this system was stopped, zamindari system, when it stopped, our nation started developing here. So this is all about this agriculture land reforms. Only I am taking into consideration land reforms. In this agriculture sector, we are having too much points again. We are having green revolution further, then land sealing. Next concept what we are going to do is land sealing, then green revolution. These are the points again in the future session, in a further classes we are going to discuss. Okay.